I'm nearly 30, but in the last 6 months, I have developed an allergy to dogs. I can't believe it. Story 60. Become a heroin addict. I want to make it clear. Not because I look down on addicts, absolutely not at all, but just because I never thought life would bring me there, and subsequently think I could ever make it out of that dark tunnel. But here I am. Story 61. I never thought this would happen to me was a theme repeated over a span of 5 years. My husband cheated and I asked for a divorce. 2 weeks later, my best friend unexpectedly died of cancer. 1.5 years later, I was living with my boyfriend, who committed suicide. Shortly after, I lost my job and changed my career path due to the pandemic. 1 year later, I discovered through 23andMe that my dad isn't my biological father. 1 year later, I fell about 9 feet and fractured a quarter of my skull, resulting in a traumatic brain injury and over a year of chronic vomiting. I am now happily married and 9 months pregnant with our second child. For years, I believed I was extremely unlucky, but now I see how fortunate I truly am. Story 62. Losing my job because of sexual, racial, and age discrimination. Maybe I should have seen it coming because I am a female engineer in my 20s, but growing up, girls around me were encouraged to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. In university, my classes had an equal gender distribution, so I didn't think it was a significant issue. Little did I know there is a reason why the wider industry still only has 13 to 14% women in the engineering sector. Apparently, what I observed throughout my life is not representative of society as a whole. Story 63. Being a dad is a remarkable experience. It somehow happened while on birth control, but I was fortunate enough to share this journey with the right person. Despite the challenges early on, there is nowhere else I would rather be. I hope that everyone in a similar situation perseveres to realize that they can do it and that it is worth it. The joy, love, and light that parenthood brings are profound. Life is sacred, and everyone has a purpose. Story 64. I never thought my well-laid plans for financial security during retirement and my good work in the federal government would be in danger just years before retirement. Story 65. Get married. I was 38 when I met my wife. I never thought I would marry or that I wanted to get married, but then I met her and quickly realized that I wanted to marry her. Here we are, 25 years later. Story 66. Positive. Owning a home is something I never thought would be possible. I am grateful every day and often pinch myself to remind me that it's real. Negative. I never anticipated developing agoraphobia. I used to be a social butterfly who loved adventure, and it seemed to strike out of nowhere. I couldn't even check my mailbox, and it was awful. Story 67. Having 4 miscarriages and 4 children, I miss the woman I was before those losses. I am grateful for how those experiences have shaped me, and for all my children on earth. Story 68. I never thought I would survive a nervous breakdown following a seriously bad breakup. Almost 9 years ago, I experienced my first panic attack. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. The depression lasted 2 years, and I nearly died in the process. However, without therapy and without medication, just pure perseverance, I made it through. I still bear the emotional scars, but I am no longer affected by the person who caused this. I never thought I would get over it, but I am so happy now. Story 69. Becoming the person who checks their bank account before buying coffee turns out. Adulting hits hard. Story 70. I got married at 40. I was convinced it was never going to happen for me, so I stopped trying to be anything but who I wanted to be. Turns out that approach works. Story 71. Bury my 20-year-old son. It has been 10 years, but nothing about it ever changes. I miss him and all the life he should have lived in these last 10 years he has been gone. Story 72. Being diagnosed with brain cancer as a 28-year-old physician and still living 1 year after that to share my experience. Story 73. I didn't know if I thought it would ever happen, but I got a driver's license. It has been a few months since I received it, and I am not even the worst driver, believe it or not. Story 74. Get divorced twice before the age of 31. I made the wrong choices when it came to men and settled. Yes, I had issues with my father. I have gone to therapy, and I am in a much better place now. Story 75. Getting into a healthy relationship for the first time. I honestly never thought I would be in another relationship after my divorce, let alone a healthy one. Story 76. I never thought I would become a teacher. For many years, I believed I could never take on that role. After a career in healthcare, I accepted a position in a school to align my schedule with my children's. I absolutely loved it. Now, I teach mathematics at the high school and college levels. It turns out that I am not suited to be an elementary teacher, as I lack the necessary skills for that position. High school teaching is where I truly belong. Story 77. Permanent irritable bowel syndrome from an infection and subsequent bacterial overgrowth prevents me from tolerating fruit. I assume no one wants to hear about unexpected sexual topics. Story 78. When I was 19, I agreed to put my auto repair bill on credit. I didn't have to make a payment for 6 months. In other words, it felt free because the odds of that much time passing seemed unlikely. Story 79.